Welcome back to For the Love of Sicily and the big change of plans for us in Sicily. When we first bought our homes in 2020, the plan was to continue working in the States for a few more years, get our home ready to put on the market, and slowly make our way over to Sicily. It started out as a 5-year plan. After visiting Sicily for the first time in early 2021, we found it and our new homes incredibly difficult to leave. We visited again in the fall of that year, and this time it really felt like home. So, what had once been a 5-year plan quickly changed to a 3. And then in the fall of 2021, it changed again to let's do whatever we need to do to get there ASAP. And that's exactly what we did. Back in the States, we got our house ready to sell and also started planning how to renovate and decorate each space of our new home. We dreamed about what our lives would be like in Sicily, how we would spend our blissful days. Be sure to click like and subscribe to keep up with all of our adventures in Sicily. We were going to bring 2 dogs, Roxy and Blue, and our sweet old girl Meatball with us on the move. We looked forward to daily walks around town with the girls, and I planned to get back to painting, which was my career many, many moons ago, and hopefully get involved in the community. Kim was looking forward to some much needed time off. He had worked as a tennis coach for 45 plus years. He was bringing his beloved antique car to tinker on, and we figured we'd finally be able to spend our days doing whatever we wanted to do. As much as Kim was looking forward to retirement, he couldn't change the fact that he's a doer. Always has to have something to do. Sitting his days away was not an option. Another plan was to make use of our time and our new island and explore. We had always loved going for drives in the States, finding new and interesting places. And fortunately, Sicily is full of so much history and spectacular things to see. One day, about a week after arriving and recovering from the move across the ocean, we took a drive to explore nearby villages. It was a gray, rainy day, but we needed to get out. We found a couple of lovely little towns, and the moody day made for some great photos. On the way back home, we saw what appeared to be a dead dog on the side of the road. Our hearts are always so saddened whenever we see animals on the side of the road. We slowed down in disbelief as we passed her, and then she jumped up. She had literally been laying on the white line on a small highway where people drive way too fast, soaked from the rain. Of course, we stopped, and she walked up and acted like she wanted to get in our van. I'm saying this with air quotes because it may have been true for her, but of course, we were never going to leave her on the highway in that state. We let her in the back of the van, and she slumped down and was very quiet. We agreed that we would get her cleaned up and then find her a good home. After all, we didn't have room in our new house for a large Labrador. After a few minutes, though, one of us, not me, said, "Wow, she's so good. She hasn't made a sound." Then, "She's such a good girl." It became apparent very quickly that we were definitely going to find her a good home, ours.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She's not very old, honey. Good girl, honey. Good girl. Okay.
Kim just took to her. They became best buds. After a trip to the vet, we found out that she was very sick. She had a uterine infection and would not have survived a few more days without antibiotics. We also found out that she had been chipped. Her name was Bea. Our veterinarian contacted her owner, and he said he didn't want her anymore. Kim said he wouldn't have given her back even if he had wanted her, after finding her in the condition she was in. And just like that, our family was growing. Originally, we figured we could manage a few walks a day with Roxy and Blue through town, and they were homebodies anyway, so they didn't mind the comforts of the indoors. But with Bea, it was a different story. Kim took her for long walks, usually 4 times a day, but being cooped up in a small house isn't the best scenario for a big dog. We started noticing on our walks that some homes had small gardens with a bit of land. Wouldn't that be nice? To open the doors in the morning and let our babies out to enjoy fresh air, run, and play?
Hey, we'll get the ball. Get the ball. It's a lemon. Well,
So, of course, we started inquiring about different homes we'd see that looked abandoned. I didn't want to have to leave the beautiful home we had just created, but what if we could find something that had as much potential with a little yard? Finally, after several weeks of searching with our realtor friend and with no luck finding anything in town, we took to the internet to look at other listings in the area. And within hours, we found a property in the country that looked very interesting, found its location, and put an offer in on it. And just like that, we were heading off for a new adventure. The home in the country that we found, what they call villas here, was a good size for the two of us. 2 bedrooms with a large family room, good sized kitchen and bathroom. But it wasn't on a small piece of land, it was on over 5 acres with almond, olive, and fruit trees.
The property line. I'm going that way. All that. There's the roof. There's the house. This is the road where the border of the property is.
To me, the size of the property was daunting, but for Kim, it was exactly what he needed, as he immediately started making plans for a garden and looked forward to harvesting olives and almonds. The one feature that sealed the deal for this house was its unbelievable views of the mountains in the distance. We don't have sea views, but I've always wanted to live in the mountains. Most every house in the country has a name, so we decided to name this house Casa Lavanda. We had heard that lavender grows well here, and we're hoping to plant one of the fields with lavender. Then, just as we were ready to close on Casa Lavanda, we found another sweet girl. We first spotted her on the highway coming into town. She was poking her head out from some brush and looked scared. We saw her again with some friends, and they told us that she was a stray and lived on the winding street by their house. Fortunately, we always keep dog food in our car, so we started dropping by where she hung out to feed her every day. She was so scraggly, but oh, so cute. A couple of times we could see her sleeping on the other side of a gulch, but had no luck getting her attention or waking her up. Finally, after we purchased the home, we picked her up and brought her home. And once we brought her home, we quickly realized the reason that we couldn't wake her or get her attention previously was because she was completely deaf. I fell in love with her the first time we stopped to feed her. She was so trusting, always smiling and happy to see us. We ended up naming her Pearl. Our veterinarian said she was about a year old, so still very much a puppy, and she absolutely loved Bea. The two of them became thick as thieves. She followed Bea around and copied everything she did. If Bea got a pine cone to chew on, Pearl would lay down next to her and do the same. Whatever Bea did, Pearl would follow. It was so much fun to watch their bond grow. It became apparent very quickly that we had made the right decision to buy the house in the country. All of our girls just loved it there. So much room to run and play. But I was very sad to be leaving our beautiful home that we had created. It really was my dream home. We advertised our home on social media, and within a few months, we had a contract and were headed for the country. Next time, we'll show you what we found on our first visit to the new house in the country. We hope you'll join us.